Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always is Eric and Nathaniel. What's going on, fellas?
Not much. Hanging out on a Saturday. 7 p.m.
Podcasting's what's going on.
Yeah, had to do it on a Saturday. Unfortunately, we're a day early. I wasn't expecting to have to go to. Okay, we got sound. Didn't have to work this. Or go out of town for work tomorrow. I wasn't expecting to have to do that. So I thought I had a free week, but I don't. But that's okay. I need to work. I need money. Money is good. So
Yes.
I will take a
Work, earn money, buy games.
I will take a day excuse me, a day work to to pay
Money's
the bills.
important.
So money is very important.
Bills. Buy more games.
Money makes the world go round. That's for sure.
That's right.
As if I don't have
That
enough.
currency.
As if I don't have enough games as it is, but I need to buy more. So
That is true. Every time I go buy a new one, I just look at the backlog. I'm like, one of these days I'm going to play that. Year passes. I still haven't played it. Why did I buy that?
Yeah, let's see. I ended up getting my Cosmic Star Heroine game in this week, which I'd already played, but I wanted a physical version of it. What was the other game I got? Oh, I got the Onimushu Warlords from Japan. I got the Japanese physical copy for the Switch. I went, oh man, that's awesome. They put it on the shelf. I'll play it sometime.
Nice. Is that coming to America, or is that only
No,
physical?
it's only physical in Japan. It just happened to be a reseller on Amazon was actually selling it here in the U.S. for pretty much what you could import it for. So I went,
Cool. I was going to ask you to get like on PlayAsia or something, but nope.
No. I tried to go
man.
on Amazon and get them. You know, a lot of the games I can get on Japan Amazon, and they ship to America. So I tried to do it that way because
Translate the page.
you get it a little cheaper than you do at PlayAsia. Which, I mean, I understand PlayAsia charges a little more because they have to buy them and then, import them and then stuff. So I get that. I mean, but
Cool.
I would prefer
Well,
not to if I can. I like to get it as
that's
cheap
good.
as possibly can. So.
I didn't buy anything recently. I haven't bought anything in the last couple of weeks. It's been pretty quiet. I keep thinking that I want to go buy the Travis Strikes Again for Switch, but I heard kind of the reviews are pretty mixed.
The reviews are mixed.
Wait.
Dennis picked it up. I really need to message him and ask him how he liked it. I value his opinion on games because me and him usually have about the same
Well, let me know
those kind of games. So
because if it's one of those games where he's like, well, it's not, it's okay, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna wait till either a used copy comes along for like $30. I'll just wait till Black Friday.
yeah,
Still, I want to play it.
It's already cheaper to start with anyways.
yeah, it's only $40. It's not super expensive anyway. It was a budget title to start with. If you call $40 a budget title, I don't call $40 a budget title.
$30.
It's a mid-range title that we don't get much of anymore.
Mid-range title.
No, but do you remember back in the day when Dreamcast games were $40 and everybody was like, "This is so expensive for a video game"?
Why? Because stuff was 30 before.
Yeah, it was like everything went up $10.
I remember.
Then PlayStation 2 games came out and they were $50, and everybody went.
I'm pretty sure when I bought my friend Tony Hawk 2 for PS1, I'm pretty sure brand new that was 40.
It may have been. I don't know.
I was blown away by how much it was.
All I ever remember buying was buying new PS1 games, and they were $30. Some were $35, depending on where you bought them at. But
that's nuts. Now we're up to 60, and they keep rumbling about how they want to bump it up another $10.
It's like I always say, I blame Microsoft for that. Hey, Spinner, how's it going? Yeah, I always blame Microsoft because, Halo 2 Collector's Edition was the test to see if people would pay $60 for a video game, and we all paid $60 for it. So Microsoft went, okay, well, we'll just have them all $60 then when the PlayStation 3 comes, or the Xbox 360 comes out. Everybody will do that. So, yeah. But whatever. We're not here to discuss video game prices. We're just here to discuss video games. Because I could go all day discussing video game prices because it's ridiculous. But anyway, we're going to talk about what we've been playing, what we've been doing. There's two games that I have played that I don't want to talk too much about because they're actually the games for our review show we're going to have. I did play some Tangle Deep. Did any of you guys try it out yet?
I have not tried it out yet. I did get it downloaded, but I just haven't had time to play much.
It's a very interesting game. I like it. The other one that I really like is the Wargroove. We got it for our March game, and it's like Advance Wars for the NES. which is pretty cool. Or for the Game Boy GBA. I said NES, but it's actually GBA.
Just say for the Nintendo, and
yes,
then it'll work.
For the Nintendo.
No matter what it is.
And then everybody goes, the Nintendo!
Which one?
Yeah. So, other than that, I did play Anthem on the PS4. My buddy had, he pre-ordered it and had the VIP demo, or the VIP pass, so he gave me one last weekend. We never got to play together, but I did play it. I know, Nathaniel, excuse me, you said you played it some today on the open beta.
Yeah, on the open demo, I've played like about an hour, not very much.
I tell you what, I'm glad to hear that it's running better because, oh my gosh, I played it, it was Friday or Saturday night. I can't remember exactly what night it was on the VIP beta, and it was hit and miss. You'd get on, and you'd walk around the whole starting area. You'd hop into the mission, and then it would get to about 95% loading, and sometimes it would just sit there for 15 minutes or longer.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the bugs that was coming out of it. That was the biggest one. They're saying, "Hey, if you get stuck in that, we're fixing."
Yeah, well, what you had to do was you had to exit out the whole game, shut it down, and then go back in, and then it was like, oh, you're in this mission. Do you want to continue to play in this mission? Okay, let's go. And, you do it. I liked it, actually. I thought it was kind of cool what little bit of it I got to play.
I really want to play it now just for play it as like a campaign and then kind of be done with it.
Yeah.
I don't care if the end game is good or not at this point. Cause depending on what reviews say as far as like length of the story and all of that goes, how much I can get out of it just for a quick run. It's fun because the mobility in it is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just being able to like double jump and do like a weird dodge like thruster thing, and be able to hover and or fly, and then when you fly you can do like barrel rolls and all sorts of stuff with the other buttons. They don't just like lose functionality, they do different things depending on what state you're in.
Hovering is my favorite because I'll just jump up above a bunch of things, just go. It's a lot more action oriented than I thought it would. Well, I knew it was going to be action oriented, but it's a little more actiony than I thought it was.
What does it remind you of? Like Destiny?
Or Mass Effect.
Yeah, to me it's like Mass Effect and Destiny kind of put together.
It's very much like Mass Effect. The actiony stuff from that. A lot of it with sort of like the cooldowns and the timing of the cooldowns for like throwing this grenade or doing this rocket or doing your kind of ultimate abilities all feels a lot like how that kind of paces out in Mass Effect, kind of some of that. A little bit faster than what Andromeda was most of the time, but still similar-ish. At least on like the default one that's just the kind of average, whatever they're called. I forget what they're called in the Anthem. Like the suits, the one you start with.
The Lance?
I forget what it's called because I've only literally played it for about an hour.
Yeah, I played it for about 2 hours.
I want to level up enough to try one of the other two. Because those are the ones that look interesting to me. Yeah. The one that's the sort of fast, stealth, quick hit one, and then the one that's all the sort of like magic equivalent thing where you're throwing all sorts of different cool elemental space magic, I guess. Yeah. Because that's what I like the most in the Mass Effect games is playing the ones with all the biotic powers, so you can do all the combos and stuff.
Yeah. See, now in the VIP demo, you could only play as the one suit. I think this one there was the option to play. You could play as some of the other suits, but I haven't had a chance to
start with the basic one, and then you start at level 10, and once you level up to 12, it gives you the chance to do one of the other ones.
Gotcha. See, I didn't have time this weekend.
What the message said, yeah. The funny thing that made me laugh so much is you're like start out in the kind of hub area, and you start out right next to somebody that has a little icon that says talk. So you're like, oh, okay, talk.
This vision is not available in this.
This feature is not available until the full version.
That's crappy. Why would you include it in there? Talk.
All of the storefronts.
They're all like that.
There's like 3 people you can actually talk to, which is pretty good. Like the animations and stuff are good on it.
Yeah, and I like finding the ones you can talk to. Some of them have interesting people doing the voices. Like if you go to the bar and talk to the bartender, that is the dude from 30 Rock who was the page with the blonde hair.
Kevin?
Yeah,
Kevin. I don't know the actor's name, but the character's
I can't remember his name, but as soon as he talked, I was like, hey, I know who that is.
It's that guy.
I mean, he has a very distinct voice, so you know exactly who it is the minute he says something. But yeah, I mean, that was great. I mean, but yeah, I thought that was hilarious though, because you would go in, that first person you walk up to, well, I'm going to talk and see what it's like. Oh, I'm sorry, this feature is not available in the demo. It's like,
I'm curious how many of those are just storefronts and how many of those people you can actually like talk to a lot.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Because I wandered around enough that I was like, I found a lot of people that you could talk to. That you wouldn't do it in the main. So for the main game has a lot of the people there that you can at least talk to. Some of them are obviously storefront because it's kind of a marketplace area of it. But did you in the VIP one? Did they let you mess with your suit at all and change cosmetic things like colors and all that?
Yeah.
That was really, really cool because they have a lot of different things that you can change.
Yeah, it was like overwhelming how much stuff you could change, and it was like,
I was like, not only can you swap out different like helmets, torsos, arms, and legs if you get them, which I didn't have any starting out.
Right.
But then you can change like primary, secondary, tertiary, like 4 different main colors sort of for your whole armor set, plus a couple other secondary things. And I made a really cool green look to mine that was like, hey, this is fun. Now maybe
I kept trying to make mine look like Iron Man, but I couldn't get the colors just right. So,
and then there's other stuff in there. You'll get like stickers that they call vinyls, I think, that stuff, and all sorts of different things that you'll be able to customize the look of your character, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I was
even just changing the colors, you can get a cool look. Let alone all the other just like cosmetic stuff that I'm sure will be behind microtransactions.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely positive they will be.
But compare that to like Destiny 2, and you're like, screw you, Destiny. Your customization blows compared to this.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of made it look shameful. It was unbelievable how much you could customize. It was so much that I kind of went, whoa, I'm just going to change a few colors, and there's a lot going on here. I'm going to go back and do it later.
Well, yeah, because they have like a bunch of different materials.
Oh, yeah,
like
textures.
Painted,
and
plastic, metal.
Oh, my gosh, it was nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really surprisingly liked it better than I thought I would, so I'm anxious, buddies on PS4 getting it, so I'm anxious to get it so we can.
For this, I was kind of like, I'll wait to see what the reviews kind of are, and then I'm like, okay, I'm hoping the reviews are good because I really want to play it.
Yeah.
It just seems like a fun thing that I can play for a while. I don't think it's been any of these games like this. I don't get stuck in them for that long.
Yeah, I pre-ordered.
I'll go for a while and then have my fill of it.
I pre-ordered the Division 2 so I can get into that beta, and I'll buy it. I'll play the campaign. I'm not real worried about the PvP part of it. I just want to play that story, and to me, that's worth co-oping that story online, with friends. So, and because I enjoyed the first one, the story in the first one. Once it got to the Dark Zone stuff, I was like, man, never mind, I'm out.
The story in the first one was okay. The best thing about the first one was just the environment. Was really well done.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how this one works because it's going to be a much different environment because DC is just a way different city than what New York City is. So it'll just have a lot different feel than the first game because of that.
Yep, I'm anxious too. So Anthem, I'm going to pre-order it. It finally came up on Amazon. For the longest time, it was currently unavailable on Amazon, and I don't know why. The whole VIP weekend, you couldn't pre-order it on Amazon if you wanted to. They finally opened up pre-orders for it 2 days ago or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So,
yeah. I mean, PC version doesn't matter. Get it from Origin. That's where you get it. It's the only place.
Origin.
Origin's fine.
It's fine.
It's not blah anymore. It wasn't. It was only blah for part of its life.
Yeah, I give it a hard time, but it's fine. It's absolutely.
It is definitely one of the better PC like storefront / community / like launching apps. The one that Ubisoft has. Uplay is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Origin ain't bad.
I haven't even downloaded the Epic Store. They've been giving away games.
You're gonna have to if you want to buy some games on PC.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of weird, but whatever. But anyway, what else have you been playing? That's Anthem's really the only thing that I've been playing. That I want to talk about. That I want to save the other stuff for the review show.
I don't want to talk about these other ones.
I don't want to talk too much about them. Go buy them; they're worth playing and buying. I will say that, but that's all I'm going to say because you'll have to come back for the show at the end of the month to get the skinny on those.
Yeah, since we skipped a show, I've been playing quite a lot since the last time we recorded, and I didn't even list all of them because a few from like a while ago. It's like I don't really have anything more to talk about, like a little bit of Red Dead and stuff like that. But I've got Sunset Overdrive on PC. Because I was like, oh yeah, this is on PC, and I was just wanting something action-y to play.
Yeah, I have it on Xbox.
Yes. Yeah, I like that game. I always thought it got kind of a bad rep. I understand, it's a little bit like one-sided, but still a fun game just to go.
It definitely has dated feeling, just the style of open world it is. Definitely feels like a launch title, but the ports are very well done, so it runs pretty well. And it's fun once you get all of your kind of different locomotion skills there and kind of learn how to string them together. It's fun to move about the city. It's not as fun as Spider-Man. They definitely nailed it much better in Spider-Man in this game.
But you could see where they kind of...
Yeah, but I mean, it's a little bit different because you're just like grinding on any edge, or you're bouncing off of anything that's like a car or umbrella. Whatever. And then you have, once you get the air dash, that's really what opens up the game. Yeah. Because it lets you kind of go a little bit further than you would have otherwise. So you'll be looking around below, oh crap, what's the closest thing I can latch onto? But yeah, it's a very, 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 very meta tongue-in-cheek game. Yeah,
it is.
It's so dumb. Like, to the point that you have like disembodied voices talking to the player, and then the character is like, hey, who are you talking to? Stupid stuff. Or like whenever you respawn, sometimes the character looks into the camera and like punches the UI back away from them.
Yeah.
And cracks the screen, and just dumb stuff all throughout it. It's very, very, very like juvenile.
Yeah. That's what I liked about it. I liked that a lot.
It's like really, really dumb and trying to be dumb.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun to play. And I'm finding it's fun to play for like, an hour, maybe two at a time, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And I get fed up with just how stupid it is. So like, okay, I gotta stop for a while.
Yeah. It's definitely one to play for a little while and then come back to. It's not one to sit there and grind.
Plus, just the stuff you're doing is like the same things over and over. Like, okay, I'll go over here.
Repetitive.
Kill some zombies or robots. All right, go to this
hunt a zombie
for the random scout troop or whatever. Yeah. So it's just like, hey, go defend your vats of the overdrive drink or whatever that you're doing, so that all the zombies are
that part of it. Yeah, it's
those parts are a pain in the butt.
Yeah, they are.
But once I got the turrets unlocked, that made it a little bit easier because it could guard the spots that you can't run to really quickly. But yeah, it's like upgrading your weapons a bit and learning how to take out the bigger ones is the way you survive those, because the littler ones, you just do one shotgun blast, takes out like half a dozen of them at a time. Right. The big ones, like, all right, you have to combo stuff in order to take them out fast. Yeah. Otherwise, they wreck. It's like, oh crap, everything is dead now. Yep. I did a poor job of defending. I like the customization in that game of just all the stupid crap you can put on your character.
Yep. Yeah, there is a lot of customization you can do with that game. There is a ton.
It's like all sorts of just dumb, goofy jackets and shirts and like underwear all the way down. Like they have so many different categories of stuff, like tattoos you can get, like different hairstyles. They went crazy overboard with this goofy, stupid stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Very fun. It's not a serious game in the least.
No, and I think that's the appeal of it. It's not serious at all. I think that's what's pretty nice.
I think it probably would have done a little bit better had they not quite gone as overboard with the in-your-face like attitude combined with
like the extreme attitude.
Yeah,
so much profanity in that game for no real reason.
Yeah, you're right.
The F-bombs. Those kids love them.
Just like, there's no reason to throw 3 F-bombs into this sentence, but we're gonna do it anyway because we can.
That's the way people talk.
For the kids.
Yeah, doing it for the kids.
For the attitude. It's to the point that it's like, okay, it's fun for a while, but it just wears on you. Yeah. Just like the tude of the game.
Yeah.
Also been playing some Moonlighter on the Switch.
Yes, I love that game. I bought a physical copy of it month or two ago at GameStop or something like that. I think you can get it on Amazon now. I think it's on sale for like $20 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what the Target has.
Highly recommend it for $20. I mean, it is.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
It's like $15 for PS4.
Yeah, wherever you want to play it at. I mean, it's a perfect game to play on
Have
Switch.
it on Steam.
Yeah, it's very good in handheld. Just sit on the couch, like play a couple little bits of it, because you have like the section where you're running your shop, a section where you're running and going down to a dungeon to get more stuff to sell in your shop. And it's a very good game for just one more section. Let's do one more.
How many dungeons have you beat?
I haven't played a ton, so I've only gotten up to like a few floors in the first one.
I've played it like 5 or 6 hours, but I have yet to beat the first dungeon because I load up on stuff and then I go back and sell it, and I'm like, oh, let me go back, and I don't want to leave that dungeon. It's like, but if I go somewhere else, I can get more. If I just finish it, if I just push my way through and finish it, and open up another one, then but I haven't yet.
Right now I'm not far enough in where I would even want to try, but I'm grinding for some money to get better gear. So I'm upgrading my armor and my weapons a bit before I even try. Because the first couple floors are fine, but once you get further up, it's like, okay, I can't survive.
Yeah, it gets kind of tough. It gets kind of tough quick.
Let alone get to the boss fight at the end of the dungeon. So it's just like,
I was really surprised about
stuff,
that game.
Go sell it.
I don't remember who reviewed it on the site. I can't remember. Oh, it was Ryan and Morgan. Morgan did it on PC, and Ryan did it, I think, on PS4. I don't remember. I was very, very surprised how fun that game is.
Well, I remember when it came out on PC, and I thought about getting it there. In fact, it's probably on my Steam wish list because I have a huge wish list.
Yeah.
But I had some like a gift card from Christmas or something, I think is what it was. It's like, I'll use this to get Moonlighter on my Switch.
It is a very, very cool, chill game to play. It really is. I like it.
Like, even when you're running in the middle of the dungeons, it's never that stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, at least for the first ones. I'm sure it gets much harder later.
Probably.
Each dungeon has different themes and different monsters and all that stuff.
But I've played it way too long not to have finished that first dungeon, though. That's what's bad.
Yeah. So far, I haven't upgraded my shop at all. I've just added a couple of other shops in town so I could get armor and potions.
That's what I did.
Or in potion/enchantments.
Yeah.
Which helps a lot if you enchant your gear. It really does. It like doubles its effectiveness. So it's like, yes, please.
Yeah, it really does. It really helps out a lot.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've done. I have not upgraded my shop at all.
I've figured out the good prices for like 2/3 of the items that drop in that first dungeon. So it's like, all right, I can make some money now on each run.
Because the first time I was selling stuff way too cheap, come to find out.
Yeah. It's all if you could figure out like how rare it is.
Yeah.
Like, some of the stuff like sticks, it's like, okay, I have like 50 of these. I don't think they're going to be that expensive. But some of the others, you have like 1 or 2. You're like, well, what is this? I don't know. Sell it, and then someone's like got the super glowy eyes.
Like
it's the best deal ever.
It's like, really?
Like,
I put $2,000 on that thing, and you actually bought it, or 2,000 gold, and you bought it? Okay, well, I sold it too cheap then.
Next time it will go up.
Yeah, well, and that's what I do. It's like, okay, well, I put it. At first, I put it too low, put stuff too low, and then the next day, I'm like, okay, let me price everything too high, and then when people start coming in, I'll judge their reaction to it. Then I'll start dropping it as it.
Well, if you have something that, like, say you've got 3 of this thing, and you don't know the price for it yet, sell one.
Right.
And then sell another one, and then sell another one. You dial it in a lot quicker that way.
Yeah.
Rather than losing 3 at a very poor profit margin.
Yeah.
But the mechanics on that are really, really well done for like the 4 different happiness or angry levels of your customers and them running in. I haven't gotten far enough because I know from seeing stuff on it that like eventually people come and try to shoplift stuff.
Yeah, that's what they say.
There's people who want to buy specific types of items like armor or whatever. So if you don't have those, they'll walk out.
Like,
I've had some warriors come in. You know them because they all have big, heavy armor and stuff like that, and they walk around the table, and then I think the ones that come in with mine, they go, and like a little sword with a thing pops up over there.
Yeah, they have like a little thing sometimes even before they've looked around of like, this is the type of thing I want. It's hovering over their head.
Yeah.
But most people just wander around and then go look and see what you take.
I'll have to watch some like videos on it. Sounds kind of entertaining.
And I know it'll get way more complicated once you upgrade the shop because you can add like sales table, you can add more space, you can have more storage and all sorts of other things in there that will make it a little bit complicated more over time as you get more and more stuff, so that it doesn't just stay boring. Oh, I've just been doing this all the whole time.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. If somebody's got it on sale for $15-20, buy it.
The art style's really good too. It's really nice.
Yeah, it really is. It's a cool game. I like it a lot.
And then I've been playing due to a weird YouTube rabbit hole where I was watching one of the normal things that I always watch on YouTube, suggested videos, something for about like Arkham Asylum and why it's one of the best action games or something or other. So I watched that. Then it was really well done, and it was detailed and entertaining to watch. I was like, oh, what's the rest of the stuff this guy has? So I looked, and he's got a bunch of like Devil May Cry kind of retrospective videos and Bayonetta ones, and I watched the Bayonetta ones. It's like, you're right, Bayonetta is awesome. I want to play it. So I've been playing Bayonetta. I've gotten about 3/4 of the way through the first game again, just because.
Now, you're playing it on Switch or PC or
PC?
PC, okay.
I have it on Switch too, but I want to play on PC for that.
Yeah.
Super smoothness.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, it's alright on Switch, but...
Yeah, that's fine.
It's shinier on PC a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And it runs, PC's the place where it runs the best, so...
Yeah, it's still a little bit weird on PC, though, because all the cutscenes are locked at 30 frames a second, and they're not as sharp.
Yeah.
But lots of games that way are on PC if they're like a port of an old game that wasn't on PC at the time necessarily. And then all the cutscenes were pre-made and they can't remake them. You'll see that less and less now as games get differing in how they do the technology. But still, back then it was a little bit where it's like, okay, it barely runs on consoles,
right?
So we got to match the graphics for that.
It ran like garbage on PS3.
Yeah, it did. The 360 it ran all right, but man, PS3.
But yeah, it's like, man, I wish Nintendo would PC ports because I want to know what Bayonetta 2 playing at that super smooth, like,
I would like to know that too.
Looking graphics would be.
Yeah,
and some of the stuff that's fun that I didn't remember, like the original Bayonetta, is way more unforgiving than 2 is.
Oh yes, it is. Absolutely,
it has a lot of the mid cutscene. There's very few of them that are this bad, but mid cutscene like QTEs or button presses. So it has just like, hey, you're playing a cutscene, and then, oh wait, here's the thing. Did you hit the button half a second later? No, but you hit the right button, but you didn't hit it fast enough. You're dead, and it counts as you're dead, and you have to continue, and it counts against your score. It's not fair, man. And some of the boss fights in that game are super difficult.
Yes, they are. You're right.
Especially ones against human-sized character that you're playing against that has all your abilities. And then there's some enemies that are difficult because they don't let you do witch time, which I don't remember any of those in Bayonetta 2, although they could be. It's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played it too.
But they have some like you dodge, but it doesn't go into the slow down time because it's a special enemy. Or there's the couple different times you fight Jeanne in the first game where she's also has witch powers, so you don't get to go into witch time there.
Right.
You're just like, good luck dodging.
Bayonetta right there.
So yeah, I might get to it. I'm to the point where I'm almost at the top of the tower towards the end of the game, so still have. It feels like you're at the end of the game, but you're not because it's Bayonetta, and we have to go way over the top and get into outer space and fight a giant god, and then crash it into Earth and all the weird crap the end of that game does.
I haven't taken my collector's edition off the shelf in a while, but the company Retro Protection that I buy my C3 cases for my cardboard box games actually finally made a box that'll fit in. So it's like, I got one coming, so I'll take it down, I'll put it in the box, and then I'll turn around and go, you know what, I really want to play that game. I'll probably end up sitting here playing it all evening. So I fully expect Tuesday or Wednesday that I'm going to play some Bayonetta, either one or two. I don't know. So that's usually the way it goes. When I pull something off the shelf, it's like, to dust it or whatever, it's like, I really need to play this.
Playing it just makes me like, I hope we hear something about Bayonetta 3 soon.
I hope so too. I mean, with all the other delays, of stuff that they announced, I hope that that's still on track for this year. So.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want it to be good
when it comes out.
Yeah, so. That's exactly what I was going to. I want it to be good, so I can wait. I'm happy to wait if it's good. So
I want it to be good, and I want it to be super weird.
Yeah, If it's
That's what I
not
want from
weird,
my
then
Bayonetta.
you got to have it weird. You just have to have it weird. That's just the way it is.
Like, hey, Bayonetta just stands on her head the whole game. We don't know why.
Sure, spins on her. Has her hair all done up and spins on top of it with guns.
Well, no, her hair is just works out like legs. She's using a magic to use her hair like
okay,
legs.
I could get behind that.
So then her real legs are free enough to shoot all the time, not just
Gotcha.
during a spin moves. There you go.
I can
Free
get behind
Bayonetta
that.
3 ideas.
There you go. Won't even charge you for those.
And then there's another game that I started playing recently due to other things influencing me, saying, "Hey, oh yeah, you have that game." There's the new Subnautica Frozen whatever coming out into early access. Reminded me, you have the original and you've never played it. You had it in some bundle from like 2 years ago. I played a few hours of that game. It's really cool.
Is that
It's
that's
super
the
tense
underwater
times.
one, right? That you're
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I remember seeing Let's Play videos.
You start the game, you're in like an escape pod from this crashing giant
that's right.
spaceship, and you crash land in the ocean, and you can see the giant ship on fire in the background. And then you start by just trying to get some food and finding all the little fish and things right close to you, and then you have to go and get materials so you can repair your thing. You get a radio that tells you certain other stuff that you find. You build, eventually you start doing like base building and vehicles, and I've just gotten to the point in the game where I'm just building some of that. So I haven't built a vehicle yet. Blueprints on it. I just need to get some materials for it. I've started a small base where I added a scanner room so I can scan for cool stuff to go get.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten into the much deeper parts. I've kind of gone around like where you start, there's a decent shallow area, and then once you get a little ways past that, it has like a little bit deeper with some actual enemy type fish creatures out there. And that's about as far as I've gone. Since I don't have a vehicle, I can't really go very much deeper.
Now, I remember seeing a lot of Let's Plays on Twitch when it first came out, and watched a lot of them and thought it looked really cool. Somebody was giving it away free at some point. Maybe it was the Epic Store we were talking about. I didn't.
Somebody did, yeah. I think it was
downloaded the Epic Store. But
like a month ago or something. But
I guess I need to hop on that. So
it's a very colorful game, and it's, at least when you start, it's very, it's for a survival game, not too intense, but it ramps up.
Right.
Because the deeper you go, the darker it gets, and you hear like the sound design in the game is really good at kind of amping up the tension of like, there's something out there. Which one is it? Oh, it's that one because I recognize it from the last time it tried to attack me.
Gotcha.
Or hey, there's a really big thing over there. Is that a fish or is that just land?
Watching Let's Play streams, you don't get sometimes to hear the the audio of the game as much. So I didn't even realize that there was a lot of ambiance.
It feels a lot different when you're watching a stream versus you're actually trying to delve deeper, and you got your head real intense in the middle of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool.
Yeah, it's really, really fun game.
Sweet. Well, Eric, what have you been playing?
Oh, I've been playing a few things. It's been a couple weeks since we did a show, but I've been playing some more Fallout 76.
Have you played it since they did the updates? I know they said the
not.
update. Okay.
Well, last weekend, I put my water cooler in my PC, and I played it for like a half an hour, but this week, got a new kitten, so we were kind of busy with some other stuff. I didn't really have time to coordinate with my brother and play Fallout 76. All I heard from him was, it's terrible now, it really sucks, and we're not going to be playing it very much.
Well, that's what I heard. I heard that the latest update they did brought back a lot of problems that was in it originally. Undid a lot of things.
Like explosive radius, like is super small now, so there's no point using like grenades or carrying a Fat Man, which is the nuke launcher.
Right.
For some of the perk cards, the ones that do additional damage, like, use this perk, get 10% more shotgun damage. They cut that down to like 5%. So people are up in arms and angry. So we'll see. I'm just supposed to play it tonight after this. So we'll see how that goes. Let's start with the PS4. So on the PS4, I've been playing some Onrush. It's a good game. Kind of reminds me of like MotorStorm, maybe. MotorStorm meets like Burnout. It's the best way to describe it, I think.
Yeah.
I was hoping my car would have weapons, but it doesn't. I need another car combat game.
That's
fun.
That was the free game for the month, wasn't it? The PS.
This month or last month? Yeah.
I've got it. I've got it on my list. I never downloaded it, but I added it to the.
And I'm actually, funny thing is, I won a code for a couple months back for it, and I gave that to a buddy, and I'm glad I did, because then it popped up free on PlayStation.
Right.
Hey, it all works out. I played some more Horizon Chase Turbo.
Yeah, I love that game.
Me too. It's so nice and soothing. And for the first time ever in gaming history, at least for me, I played Symphony of the Night, Castlevania. I had downloaded that 2-pack, includes Rondo of Blood, because I also have Rondo of Blood on the Virtual Console, and I played it a little bit because somebody recommended it to me. I was like, but then the 2-pack was on sale maybe like a month ago for $17 with PlayStation Plus. I was like, that's a smoking good deal.
But I heard it was not a really good port. I heard there was a lot of problems with it.
I never played the original, so I don't really know. I have it on PS3 too, and I did that. I got that from a game share, and I've never played it on PS3. I'm assuming it's the same port.
Maybe, I don't know.
But it's fun, I guess. I died very quickly and realized, wait, I don't have any continues. So I'm like, oh, this game's gonna be hard. But I remember people talking about how it's really fun, and there's a lot of cool stuff to find and do.
Yeah.
I like the art style.
Is definitely the first one that puts the Vania in.
Yeah,
Metroidvania.
I like these
2D
sort of like exploring, Metroidvania games. I'm like, I could definitely get behind this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Playing a couple things on Switch. Play some more Smash. As someone who didn't play much of Smash on the Wii U and only played some on the Wii, I'm pretty sure I have played more on the Switch than I played either of those two versions. And for some reason, I just keep playing. I'm like, oh, let's do classic mode. Let's have a fight. What do I unlock? Oh, that's cool. But I also played a little bit of we got a review code for this and a little bit behind on this one. We played Sword Brothers for the Switch. It's like a pixelated 8-bit sort of adventure game. It's
Sword and Sorcery or Sword Brothers?
Sword Brothers.
Okay. I think that one is also coming to the Switch.
It's not
probably
bad. It's really short. I'll put it that way, and it's entertaining.
Yeah.
I think it's $10. And so that's not a bad price.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not real expensive.
I mean, there's plenty of other games. There's so many games out there in the Switch eShop that, you got to pick and choose a little bit. So, but that's it.
Sure it's not Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery?
I think you might be right. Let me look.
Because that's a very short kind of pixely game.
Let me double check.
Mobile, I think it was like iPad was.
It is. You're right. It is Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery. My bad.
Gotcha.
So thanks for catching that. But yeah, it is pretty short, and he's right. It came out on iOS first, and then it was ported to other stuff.
Yeah.
That game is really cool, mostly for the soundtrack, because there's some really good music in it.
Yeah, like the indie rock, this big indie rock legend did like a bunch of the sound, and that's what caught my eye when I was playing. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really like the soundtrack, and the art's pretty cool. Fortunately, there's not a lot to the game. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's got some like wandering around, hit a puzzle.
Yeah,
run away from the dark spectre-y thingy.
Yeah, come back, whack monster, use shield, repeat.
Yeah, well, it was a mobile game.
It's got some fun little hidden secrets and stuff in there, including some like references to Zelda, and then there's some other cool things that it does with.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to
changing the world.
Right.
Tinker with it some more.
Cool.
If I remember, it's one of those games that's like if you play it on Halloween or something, some weird special thing.
Oh well, I love games that do that. What game was that? I can't remember now. There was a game that did that all the time. You could change the calendar, and they would do
Animal Crossing.
Well, yeah, I guess it is. I guess it was Animal Crossing I was thinking of. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Until you just said it.
It's all sort of real time based. So
yeah.
It's all actual dates matter in that game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Somebody posted a picture of the calendar. I think Nintendo brought out a calendar you could download and print for Animal Crossing. I've still got the original calendar for Animal Crossing hanging on my bedroom wall at mom and dad's house in my bedroom from the original release.
I think Arkham City had some hidden stuff based on a few days.
That's what it was, Calendar Man, because you had to go back to Calendar Man. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, those are fun. I think Ryan did like an extensive overview of like catching those and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait, you can do those?
Yeah, there was one achievement that I had to get in Arkham Arkham Asylum, Arkham City.
Right?
Yeah, I had to go back to it a year later, so I disconnected the PlayStation offline, then set the calendar for a year later, and then went on and then went and got it. So,
but I think Ryan actually went back, and he actually did it a year later. I think
I think so.
Well, I like the way you think, John. That's
that's what I did. I just shut it offline. I'm like, nah, I will never remember to do this in a year. It's not going to happen. So I'll just shut her off and reset the
you're
light.
You're exactly like me. It's like I want this, but in a year this will either be traded or it'll be on my shelf and I haven't touched it in a while. So
Ryan goes, yep, hit an article every holiday. Yep, that was it. It was So
that's pretty cool.
All right, cool.
Man, I still, speaking of the Arkham games, one of these days I gotta play Arkham Knight. I enjoyed all the others.
I never did finish Arkham Knight, and I
even played how big
I
even played the one for the 3DS.
Yeah. Well, you know how big of a Batman fan I am, and I never even finished Arkham Knight. So
I played maybe 4 or 5 hours of it.
People
so I
say
didn't
that
get
it gets frustrating, and
the driving really got on my nerves.
The thing about that one, it just by that point it feels uninspired. Like they were like, "Oh, we have to do it," rather than we want to do it.
Let's
Whereas,
wrap
like
this
when
up.
you start with Asylum, is
let's
full
finish
of
this up,
just all
boys.
this,
Next project.
Yeah,
it's
get
all
that
full
cash
of
cow.
all the stuff that says, "Hey, we love Batman. We wanted to make a game. We got the passion here." By the time we get to Arkham Knight, it's kind of like we're sick of making that.
Yeah, all we've been doing.
You know, I stumbled onto a video of Arkham Origins in 4K, and they were playing it in 4K. Yeah.
Off of what, the Xbox One?
I don't know. I don't know what they were playing it off of. I'm guessing they were playing it off of PC. Maybe the PC version would boost up to 4K.
And that game was surprisingly pretty. I enjoyed that game.
If it's on PC, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It never said in the thing, but I watched it going, man, I don't remember it looking this sharp, and I know they didn't remaster that game with all the rest of them. How is it?
Hang on. Didn't remaster it yet.
So, you know, they because I know they remastered all the other ones, but they didn't
you
remaster
can buy
that
that
one
collection.
because it wasn't Rocksteady who did it.
Which I might need to do. I think I saw that on sale, the remastered one for PS4.
If it's a PC version, it'll look pretty good because like Arkham Asylum even still looks pretty good at the high resolution. You can tell it's got like lower res textures and some stuff.
I bought them on PS4 just to try to play them again, but I never went back and actually finish them. Yeah, I mean, I played them.
Yeah.
Likes it.
Really nice. But I actually liked Origins. I thought it was really good, even though a lot of people, didn't like it.
I haven't played that one. Maybe I'll have to buy it on sale.
It's pretty good.
It's
another Batman game. They did a good job.
It's more city than it is, anything else. But I mean, it was still good because I liked it because he was a little rougher around the edges. He was, he was a little bit quote unquote younger and stuff. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I would go back and play that one again. But I only have it on PS3.
Return to Arkham's only $20 at Best Buy and like Target.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably end up playing Arkham City and not play the other one.
I mean, I have them. I may go back and play them sometime. I don't know. It's a Batman game, so I always. Oh, Batman will buy it. Batman will buy it. I even bought. What was the one on GameCube? Dark. Something or another.
Terrible
one. And I bought it and played it and thought,
is that Batman? Is that the one? No, that's not the Batman Beyond one, right?
No, it's not the
that's
Batman
the other
Beyond
one.
It's the other one. I can't remember what it was. Dark something or another. It was a weird one.
Crummy.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, well. Can't make them great.
No, you can't. That's fine. We'll see what Rocksteady does next. Okay, let's get into the news real quick. There's a bunch of stuff that we missed while we were gone, but I'm not going to touch on all of it. Some of the newer stuff this week, CNBC is reporting that GameStop shares crash after game retailer abandons plans to sell company. So GameStop announced that it is no longer in pursuit of sale of the company. The company says the board determined there was not enough available financing on the terms that would be acceptable for a prospective buyer.
People who are in it for just the money are upset that they're not selling it so that they won't get more money.
So is there going to be some sort of debt?
I don't know, but their stock dropped like 27% when that announcement came out. I mean, it went. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. So now you can buy a stock of GameStop for $11.28 if you want.
Do I get anything with it?
You get a little piece of paper that says you own stock in GameStop.
And I'll go to my local store and be like, "That's right.
Yeah, I own stock in this company, and by gosh, I want to talk something about
I
want all my games sealed. Do not open that."
See, it's like me. My sister-in-law bought my brother a share of Green Bay Packers stock when they were selling it to people. So anytime I have a problem with the team, I fuss to him about it because he's my go-to guy since he's a shareholder of the team. But, you know, I mean,
I know you own some of the stock.
Yeah, I just call him up on Sundays after the game. Yeah.
Contact one of the owners. I know you got an in.
I call him up after the game and go, hey, look, as a stockholder, I have to talk to you. You know, you have to go talk to somebody about this because this is ridiculous. You know? But, you know, it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, so that's weird, though. So we don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
nothing at this point. It's just going to be business as usual. I mean,
hopefully they can figure it out.
You know, the one thing that I have said about GameStop is all they have to do is shut down some stores. They have too many stores in places open. They don't need.
We got like 6 stores locally.
You don't need that many. You just don't need that many.
I mean, we got about 400,000 people in our area, so
I mean, when
I cut it down to 4.
Close some of the surplus stores and then put them in areas that don't have it.
Exactly. When I lived in Greensboro, there were 3 GameStops within a mile of each other. 3. Yep. One at the mall, and 2 at the plazas on each end of the street. I mean, that's
not even that unique of a situation.
No. Bring back the Elite Pro and the trade bonuses of 60%. And I will definitely come business. I doubt they'll do that.
You will never see that again. I have a feeling you will never see that again unless business gets really
there's no
desperate.
reason for them to bring the Elite Pro membership back because they don't have to compete with Amazon or Best Buy anymore.
Not anymore since they did away with
my Gamers Club Unlocked membership ended today. So no more 20% discount from Best Buy.
Well, you know, and that's where I think if GameStop wants to sell more stuff and get more people in the store, they need to do something like that. I mean,
that would be pretty cool.
I mean, that would drive me to buy from GameStop again because I do not buy from GameStop much because I can just order from Amazon, have it shipped to the house, and it shows up here the day and pay the same price as I could run over to GameStop, stand in line, or do a midnight release or whatever. And, you know, with me being on the road, I don't have to worry about it. I just come home and there's a plethora of games in bags on my kitchen table. You know, it's perfect. I like that. This next story just aggravates me. EA cancels open world Star Wars game. Okay.
It's not only that, they're canceling the game that was the rejiggered version of the game that
they originally canceled
when they closed Visceral.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the one that was going to be the big money maker, right?
This is well, I don't know if it was a big money maker, but this was their game other than Battlefront. Battlefront.
Well, we have one other game that
that's right.
Titanfall devs are making supposedly. Now, who knows if that one's still ever going to make it? But
when is Disney going to come in and say we're going with somebody else? I mean, this is ridiculous. They're going to have.
If they had a loophole to get out of this contract, they would. But especially after this.
Yeah,
Come on, really?
This is the third. We're working on a third movie this year, and they've had technically 2 video games, but it's Battlefront, which is not really a.
Well, it's like from the start of this deal, there will have been 5 movies at this point, and like 2 games.
Yeah,
it's Battlefront 1 and 2. It's not even like an adventure game or a role-playing game or this that. It's an online shooter. So
like Disney needs to be like, sorry EA, you bungled it too much, joink. Yeah. Now you can pitch games just like everybody else, and then you can come back to us and we might work with you that way, but you're not doing it exclusively. That was a dumb idea.
Yeah, I don't. EA just, I don't.
I mean, I could see sort of the appeal of like, okay, EA is big, so a bunch of different studios at things, I guess, but then you put all your eggs in one basket, and then EA screws it all up.
Right.
Not only that, the games that came out, they weren't, gigantic, hits. I mean, they did sell quite a bit because it's Star Wars.
All I can think about is
they had problems with them, and they had all the issues with it, with the launch terribly on the first one, and then all of the microtransaction hullabaloo on the second one, and it wasn't just like a grand slam, yay for the Star Wars game out there. It's just like, come on, guys, it's not that difficult.
No, and everybody, you can't say EA is being greedy because where are they making any money at? I mean, I know.
I also think that it's part Disney's fault because Disney, since they got Star Wars, is super hyper into everything must connect and it has to fit the canon, and we have all these strict guidelines about it. It's like, dude, just relax.
Don't marvel it up.
Let them make a fun game. It'll be fine.
Don't. And I think that's what Disney's trying to do. They're trying to do the Marvel thing, and I mean the Marvel thing worked, and it worked good. I don't know if you could reproduce that with another. You know, Star Wars can't do it.
Yeah.
DC hasn't been able to do it.
Well, that's even the weird thing is that Marvel properties are going to different studios. They're not just exclusively one, publisher. They're spreading that out. So, like, the Star Wars stuff is just like all at EA makes very little sense. I see, okay, make your Battlefront and then some other ones, but how about let's let BioWare do Knights of the Old Republic 3, please?
Yeah, please.
Anyone? Yeah. Oh, please. Wait, no, it doesn't fit our narrow ideas of what Star Wars is now. Like,
let me tell you.
Is that why we're not getting that? Like, come on, that would be awesome, and people would go nuts if that was announced.
Oh yeah.
And yet, even though it's technically an EA studio, BioWare's not working on that.
Nope. I don't know. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Nintendo released a video this week that announced that the Metroid Prime 4, the development has been absolutely scrapped, and they're restarting it from the ground up, and this time they're using Retro Studios to do the game. Kind of sucks, because I don't know, but good on Nintendo to come out and say this does not meet our standards of what we want a Metroid game to be, so we're going to completely scrap it and start over again. Very few companies anymore get a pass when they do things like that. Nintendo's one of them, because, I mean, really, with what...
Well, some games happen that we just don't hear about it because we didn't even hear the game announced yet before they canceled it, right?
Yeah.
This one was one we knew about, so I think they were probably like, well, if we're going to be doing this, it's going to be that far out, we got to say something.
Well, and we'll get to it later with the Nintendo sales numbers of first-party games. They've really knocked it out of the park, the past 2 years with first-party games for the Switch, so they're not going to fumble a Metroid game.
Yeah.
So they're going to do everything they can to make sure that.
Even though Metroid is still like lower end of sales numbers, but imagine if they could put out a Metroid game that does like what Breath of the Wild does,
right?
Where it's one of the best-selling ones of this franchise.
Yeah, and they're very cool, so that's fine. I'm okay with them taking a step back and saying, "Nope, we're going to do it over again." And
take your time.
Take your time.
We've got to rework it. We got to rework it. I mean, it's going to be worth it in the long run. Like you said, you don't want to fumble
let's not do another M, please.
Yes, please. No.
That one was terrible.
I still have it over there on my shelf, but it's not good. I played it for 5 minutes and went,
game.
Nope. So, all right, this next story I thought was really, really cool. This is the Metacritic's 9th Annual Game Publisher Rankings. This is the ranking of major publishers with 12 or more releases in a year. And there's 4 criteria: the average Metascore for all games released in 2018, percent of scored products with good reviews of a Metacritic score of at least 75%, percent of scored products with bad reviews, 49% or lower, number of great titles, Metascore 90 or above, with a minimum of 7 reviews. So, number 1 on the list is actually Capcom. At their average Metascore rating was 79.3%. Monster Hunter World being the overall
how many
one.
Games that get put out, and then it still averages to that. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that is. Monster Hunter was their best at 90. Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2 for the Switch was their lowest at 60. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Number 2 on the list really shocked me. Sega. Sega's number 2 on that list. With Sonic Mania Plus on the Switch being a 91. And their worst was 67 with Shining Resistance.
Yeah, the thing that would interest me on this list, though, is if you could weight it first, put it in a weight for copies sold somehow, which a Metacritic doesn't care about. Because it's like, okay, so you have a bunch of tiny games that sold 10 copies that nobody knows about, but they were reviewed very well. It's like, cool, but...
All right. Yeah, and I mean, there really wasn't a big 79.3 for the first place. Sega was 78.5. Electronic Arts is number 3 at 77.5. Nintendo was number 4 at 76.4. Ubisoft was 5 at 73. Sony was 6th at 71. Square Enix was number 7 at 71.0. Bandai Namco was 8th. I don't even know this company that was number 9.
Digirati Distribution, who are you?
Yeah, they did Omega Strike, it looks like. They're a mid-sized publisher out of Austin, Texas. I had actually never heard of them before. I didn't realize. I knew the game. Oh, well, I knew Bleed 2 and Bleed 1. I knew those games because I have those on the Switch, but I didn't realize who it was that did them.
Yeah.
And then number 10 was NIS America. 11, Plug and Digital. They did... they did the Knights of the Pen and Paper 1 and 2 Deluxe on the Switch. That's actually supposed to be a pretty good game. Number 12 is Focus Home Interactive. And number 13 is THQ Nordic. So it's a very interesting list, and they break it down. There's a whole rankings release down here. There's charts and graphs. It was really, really detailed, because they even go into the ranking of mid-sized publishers with 5 to 11 releases. There's a whole nother listing down here of it with Blizzard and stuff like that. I thought it was very interesting. There was just a ton of information in it. But I thought that was kind of cool. If you
like data, check it out.
Yeah, if you like data, check it out.
There's plenty of it.
Yeah, there is a lot of data on it. Speaking of data, if I can get my thing to work. Come on. There we go. Trying to use this old iPad to do things. Nintendo had their stockholders call meeting thing, whatever you want, where they released a bunch of sales numbers and everything like that, and how much money they made, and patted everybody on the back. And in 2018, the NPD group published its sales data, and the Switch was the top-selling system in the U.S., both in terms of dollars and raw units counted, outpacing the PS4 from 2015, which is pretty interesting. It was like 30... I think how many the date they've sold? I saw 32 point some million units sold. Yeah, just a few. So, once again, Nintendo releases the Wii U and it sells hardly any, and then they come back with something new and it just explodes.
Well, it's like, okay, you look back at it, Wii U looks so much like baby's first try at a Nintendo Switch that we didn't quite do right, and then now this is what it was supposed to be, is what the Switch got.
Absolutely. Well, and the whole time when I had a Wii U, was playing it with the pad, I'm like, man, I really wish this was something that I could play on the TV, or I could take the pad upstairs and play, and now that I have that, it's just like, it's awesome. I'm very happy with it. Let's see. There was there wasn't a champion in the software realm. Let's see, Red Dead Redemption 2 was the best-selling game of 2018, followed by Black Ops and NBA 2K19.
Yeah, that one's a little surprising that it's not Call of Duty. Call of Duty still, like, I don't know how many years running, is usually the best-selling game of the year. So being Red Dead is like, yeah, they sold a few of that game then.
I tell you what, though, Smash Brothers was the fifth game on that list, and for it to come out kind of late in the year to be
December.
5th, yeah, I mean, it was like mid-December when it came out, and
but yeah, it's also like one of the biggest selling exclusive games of something or other too. I read somewhere.
Yeah, it was 70% of Nintendo. That was most of their software generated this year was from Smash Brothers, which again, no one should be surprised by that. Yeah, it's like, once again, Nintendo is knocking it out of the park with selling Switch systems, and that was one of the things they talked about. You know, they cut back their, we're going to sell 20,000 or 20 million systems in a year, to we want to focus on multiple households, or multiple Switches in households, so more than one Switch in a household. That's what they want, which we're a household of 2. You know, Nikki has her own Switch, and I have mine, so and let's see here. Let me open this link here, and we'll talk about some of the numbers for the best-selling first-party games for the Nintendo Switch this year. This was kind of surprising too. I say this year, the top-selling Switch games. Let's see. So, So December 31st, Sony. Okay, so let me look at the note here and say this is all first party games, and I think this is lifetime sales. I don't think this is just this year. I think these are since the system came out. That's what I was trying to see here.
This article is so hard to read because it's like, hey, let's make everything giant.
Well, and it's not actually, it's Business Insider. It's not actually that's the bad thing, is it's not actually a video game thing. But anyway, Kirby's All Stars is number 10 with 2.4 million units. Mario Tennis was number 9 with 2.5. 1-2 Switch at 2.8. At number 8. Number 7, Super Mario Party at 5.3. That's quite a difference from number 7 to number 8. Splatoon, 8.2 million units sold at number 6. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee combined, that's 10 million units they have sold of those games.
I mean, that's a few Pokemon's kind of
few Pokemon
popular.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, and you're looking at 2 games on there, so you technically can say 5.
It's Pokemon is still always one game.
Well,
it is. Boost their sales by splitting it and putting a tiny bit of difference. Yep. All the super hardcore Pokemon fans have to get both.
Yep. Legend of Zelda.
There's a reason they've done that for forever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild comes in at 4 with 11.6 million units sold. Number 3 is Super Smash Brothers at 12 million units sold, which again, that game has only been out since midway through December and sold 12 million copies. That's crazy. Number 2 is Mario Odyssey with 13.76 million units. And number 1 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 15 million units sold. That's right. A reskinning of a game that was on the Wii U that has sold. I'm
pretty sure that it is the best-selling racing game of all time.
Yeah,
between that and the however few that sold on Wii.
Let me put it in perspective for you. 15 million units of Mario Kart 8 sold. There wasn't even 15 million units of the Wii U system sold.
Well, yeah.
Just wrap your brain around that for a minute. I mean, so for all those people saying, hey, Nintendo needs to bring out original games, not rehashes of these. Hey,
I mean, they're doing both. They also need to bring out games that nobody got to play because you didn't have a Yep. Now.
Absolutely.
On your Switch, there's plenty of people who are like, no, you should port this, and this to the Switch too. I want it.
Yep. I'm still waiting on that Wonderful 101. When's that coming? That's what I want to know, is when that's coming.
I guess never?
I'm guessing not either. I'm guessing that's not coming. And you know what? That is a crying shame that game is not coming. Cause...
I mean, that one's more on Platinum to do something with it. They may or may not.
They may. I mean, I don't know. It is a shame, though. This was kind of a last-minute addition to the show notes. Free-to-play Titanfall Battle Royale game will be out soon, like maybe Monday soon. This kind of came from out of nowhere. Yeah, apparently it's a Titanfall spin-off that will be out sooner than anybody would guess.
It's a Titanfall spin-off that doesn't have all the Titanfall stuff in it, like no Max, which is pretty much what Titanfall is known for. Good job.
I just play just a pilot.
It's in the name and it doesn't exist, so this is definitely a very far spin-off. It's got a new name and stuff that if no one told you it was a Titanfall spin-off, you probably wouldn't even know.
Exactly. It's called Apex Legends. It'll be out Monday for PC, Xbox, and PS4. It is free-to-play Battle Royale that will not let you use the Titan mech suits that make Titanfall so iconic, as we just said. So you'll have a supernatural MOBA-like hero abilities and play either solo or in a team of 3 as you battle other players for delicious chicken dinners.
I don't think that they will call it chicken dinners.
I don't think they will either.
But because of PUBG, everyone calls it.
Yeah, they do.
Which is outdated. You should reference a different Battle Royale game. A little one that's super popular. Maybe that's...
Maybe.
One
I think it's called
very colorful.
Okay, let me tell you this. I'm going to say this right now. If you don't watch Saturday Night Live, go search Weekend Update for last week's episode of Saturday Night Live. They have Soulja Boy somebody playing Soldier Boy come
Oh,
on
gotcha.
and talk about his video game console that he has coming out, and everybody's like, you know, oh, it's a ripoff of Nintendo. He says, what? Nintendo? So, we got Fork Knife. Yeah, it is totally. You got to go watch it. It is hilarious. It is worth watching.
Yeah.
You can Google it. It's on YouTube. It's like 5 minutes. It is the funniest thing I ever seen. I saved this one for last because the rumor has it that there may be a cheaper Nintendo Switch revision coming out this year. We've heard it several times before. But according to, I don't know how you say that. I say it Nikki is how I say it. I don't know if that's really how you say it or not. They're reporting that Nintendo plans to release a smaller Nintendo Switch revision this year that will remove certain features. They're not real sure what features it may remove. You may not be able to attach Joy-Cons to the device, or maybe something simpler that it doesn't come with a Switch dock or something like that. But it will have a lower price point for consumers that prefer to play portability or portable in handheld mode and have no desire to transfer their experience to the TV screen. I'm wondering if instead of a new 3DS system coming out, this is what they're going to do. They're going to say you have the Switch system that you could play in handheld or on your TV, take with you or leave at home. You have a smaller system that's, I don't know, $100 cheaper that, you know, you can't take the Joy-Cons off of. You know, it's a smaller, it's made to be portable. I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me that they would take this kind of, you know, if this is true, that they would take this kind of approach. I would think they would want to do something more of an upgrade, like a Pro version with the bezel smaller on it, maybe a little more onboard memory, you know, a little faster processor or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe, but that's later.
Yeah.
This one is the first one where it's like, here's the slimmer one, and then they put the XL Switch out later.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. It just seems, to me, it just seems weird that Nintendo would go, if, you know, like I say, this is all rumors, you know.
I could see where they would want to put it where it would take the place of the 3DS, put a version of the Switch out where it is just mobile only, maybe, but it still does seem a little bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, your system's selling, you know, you've sold 32.727 million units. It's selling well at $300 the way it is. I don't understand why everybody thinks they need to freshen up the system 2 or 3 years into it. But Sony does it, Microsoft does it. I mean, everybody does it. I mean, I just don't know.
It's because they want to sell new copies or new versions of it.
Yeah.
And the reason you put out a cheaper one is for all the people who weren't going to buy it on the first one.
Yeah.
You know, there's reasons that you do that.
I know. It just seems...
Whether it makes sense necessarily in how they do it, but it makes sense that they want to do it so they can get more, you know, hit more customers.
The only thing...
There's definitely price point things where, like, certain people won't buy it until it hits this price point or that price point.
Yeah. You know, me, I would be interested in like a Pro version of the Switch. If they would say that it's going to have a wider screen or smaller bezel on it, like I said, maybe a little more onboard memory. I don't even care about that. And, you know, you could trade in your old one at GameStop or whatever, and you don't have to trade in your Joy-Cons. Everything still works with it. We're just selling this, you know, you can buy the system. Yeah. I would hop on that. It would have to have a lot, though. It'd have to have something than just a bigger screen for me to trade it in. Maybe games run a little smoother, or maybe it'd have a little more RAM on it or something
That's
like
for
that.
you. For someone who already has Switch.
Right.
Someone who doesn't have a Switch, they might... Or for, like, we want a cheaper version of it to give to our kids.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of, they're trying to go for a wider audience, put out a product that this type of people would want, and then later maybe put out a different version that the people who bought it originally wants an upgraded one. So you put that out a little bit later on. So
just kind of seems weird if they would do that, you know, couldn't hook it up to the TV and stuff like that. I mean, then it's not really a Switch. It's really just a console.
It's the Let's Go Switch.
The handheld.
Yeah,
console.
I don't know. That's what's weird to me about it is you know, that was their whole thing with the Switch. Yeah, it is. And
so with rumors, even if it's like part true, they don't have the details right necessarily, or maybe it's just somebody putting something out that has no basis of truth whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll find out eventually, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You know, we're still waiting on a Nintendo Direct at some point. They haven't done one yet, and everybody, I've never seen a like of people that are up in arms because January come and went, and Nintendo didn't have a Direct. Oh my gosh!
I mean, they have done a January Direct rather often, so we're expecting it now, but that doesn't mean that they have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they can do whatever they want. I mean, they had a little indie one. They put out soon enough. It's fine. If they don't have anything to share, don't put it out.
They're probably all back there, be like, we want to do a Direct, or we just want to sit here and be like, Smash Brothers money.
We just want to sit here and count the dollar bills, yo.
Money.
But that's all I have. Anybody got anything else before we kind of wrap it up?
No, it covered everything.
Cool.
Nothing that I remember.
Like I said, we've already got our games planned out for the February review show and the March review show. March is War Groove, and February is Tangle Deep, not Tanglewood. I keep wanting to say Tanglewood. That's a whole. That's another game.
Yeah,
that's another
different.
game. That's a different game.
I do remember one other thing that happened since time was the Epic stealing things from Steam saga that is continuing. Hey, it's going to be exclusive to the Epic Games Store. So it was like Metro Exodus is a big mess of a one where it's been on pre-order on Steam for a long time, and it's probably come up on a lot of the advertising stuff that's on Steam for quite often for people interested in it. If it's getting promoted through there, and oh, by the way, we're going to yank it off of here and put it on the Epic Game Store. But then it's even weirder, more convoluted than that, because it's the way that the company is structured is like this one part of the company decided that it wanted to do that, and then this other company put out some tweet saying that like, oh, it's kind of saying like, oh, that might have been a mistake, and then the parent part of it saying like, no, it's really not, and it's just like this weirdness of like who owns who and what part of them decided to do this. And but even without that, it's kind of like, oh man, that sucks for anyone who wanted to buy it on Steam.
This whole thing now, all of a sudden, with everybody doing their own stores and selling this and that, it's just in the
long run. I hope that this is the first one that's had any sort of a chance to actually put a dent in Steam.
Yeah,
because all the rest of them, most of them have been publisher-specific ones like EA or Ubisoft. But then there's like GOG, which is cool because they have their own stuff in there, and they have a much different kind of storefront because a lot of it is the older games, and then they have some too. And then you've got Humble Bundle, which has a decent store. And then you've got like Epic now, but Epic because they have the big old two things. One, they have Fortnite money. Two, they have Fortnite players. So they have just a big influx of people who will see their store all the time right off the bat. And so maybe it will put some competition out there, and then that'll be better for everyone. But we'll see. Well, they're going about it in a weird way, though. It's not their fault necessarily for how messy this one with Metro Exodus was, but it's still kind of like, all right. Maybe for a game that has been on time and pre-orders and stuff, maybe you don't do it for those games.
Right. Well, and it's to me, the Humble Bundle store and the GOG store is different too, because they don't sell just PC games now. You know, GOG sells, I think, PlayStation 4 codes and
do they?
I think so.
Humble does.
Humble does.
I did not know GOG does. That doesn't make.
Yeah, I think GOG does. If I remember seeing something about that.
I'm pretty sure it's just Humble. I don't know why GOG would do that.
I don't know. I have to look at it, but I'm almost positive they do. But and what was it? Humble just got Nintendo, so they're selling Nintendo.
Yep, they've got Switch ones on there.
Ones on there now. Let's see, GOG. GOG.
But yeah, and there's even other stores that are like less well known than even those that are out there. There's just a ton of them.
Yeah,
sure, but none of them has put a dent into Steam ever, and other than like, okay, buy some bundles of stuff from Humble Bundle, sort of, but it's still selling you Steam codes. It's not like it's a different platform, which is what Epic is.
It's going to be interesting to see how this all turns out with all these different.
Yeah, it's fun.
All these different services.
Because it's the only place they can complain about it or what have you. The previous Metro games on Steam have been getting review bombed of people like putting in there like, I wanted to buy the Exodus one.
I get that though. I mean,
it's another weird thing too of like Epic needs to really put more features into their store and their platform that they haven't done yet. And if because of all of the stuff on Steam that you take for granted, like there's forums, so if you have like problems with the game, you can troubleshoot it there. Right. They have all the other community stuff. They have chat. They have streaming now. They have all sorts of things that Epic does not have.
Yeah. Well, and that's
hopefully they get parity if they want to like make a run at it. There's a whole lot there.
Yeah, well, that's what I like with Steam. If I buy PC games, I want to buy them on Steam because that's where all my other PC games are at. I don't want to buy. That's what I hate about. When I worked at GameStop, they gave us some codes for some Assassin's Creed games and stuff like that. Well, they're only on the Ubisoft store, so I have to download the Ubisoft thing and play them through there. I'd rather have them all in Steam, even though I can add them. I know I can add them to my library.
Technically, if you buy them on Steam, you still have to have Uplay.
Yeah, but
it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, I like to have them all in one place. So. Whatever's going to be the.
Can't, John. You can't.
I know, and it's maybe that's why I don't buy Steam. Maybe that's why I don't buy a lot of PC games.
I don't care too much about it. It's like whatever. Storefront got all the little launch if I need to, and it's especially with like Discord now. That's where you have like your friends group is all there, so no matter where you're playing it, they can see that you're playing a game.
Right. Yep.
So Steam is still sort of got a bit of that as well, just because like, hey, I've got a big enough friends list on there from being on Steam for years, but it's not a huge deal.
Yeah. Well, tell us what you think. This video is going to be on YouTube. Leave us comments on YouTube. Tell us what you think, whether you like to have them on Steam or you don't. You want one platform or multi-platform or
I like Steam because I have a bunch of stuff on there. I want to keep on there, but I have plenty of games that are not on Steam as well.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Very true. All right. Well, that's it for this show. Like I said, we've already got review shows set up for February, March. For the end of the month, we'll have one more show before that. Me and Danny are trying to get back on the stick. He's been really busy at work, so we haven't been able to do review shows or retro shows on Friday. Hopefully, maybe next week we can get one in. I'm free the rest of the week. After Monday, I'm good, so I've got nothing going on. I just assume nobody else does either, but whatever. But yeah, so, definitely subscribe to us wherever on your platform of choice, so you know when we go live with those shows, because we will stream all of them. Hopefully, as long as everything technical issues aside. This week was fine. Last week was not. I don't know what happened last week. I'm going to this week. My plan is to totally redo the whole review thing in Streamlab OBS, and hopefully everything will be fine. So. I got 3 weeks to figure it out. All right, guys.
Got some time.
Yeah, I got some time. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we will catch you all next week, or in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, not next week. 2 weeks. See ya.